Welcome back, students. Now we'll talk about behavioral theories of ages, which is part 2 of theories of ages. So what is behavior? Behavior is natural reaction to situations in the surrounding. So compensation can play a very important role in driving positive or negative behavior of people at workplace. It's well known. Now, behavioral theory is further classified as content theories, process theories, and contemporary theories. So, content theories that explains what inspires manpower at work. Okay. So, the first one in the content theory would be the theory of hierarchy of needs proposed by Abraham Maslow. This is very famous. As per him, human beings have needs at different levels. He talks about needs and he indicated that in a pyramid form with 5 different levels. At the bottommost level were the basic physiological needs like food, shelter, and so on. Once this is satisfied, man moves to seeking the next set of needs. The next level would be safety needs, that is safety, security, and so on. So this is also seen. No, early man, what he used to do, he used to hunt for food, shelter, and then he started living in groups. He started, seeking security, safety. So this is basic human tendency. The third level is social needs, where man wants to be part of a community. So this is true even in case of employees these days. Man wants to be part of community, wants to be accepted, wants to have a sense of belongingness to a certain group. So once this is satisfied, he aspires for a better status at work. So once you are part of a group, you also want better status because you are performing well at work, which fetches you more respect, self-respect, and so on. So once all the 4 needs are satisfied, needs at 4 levels are satisfied, he is a content person. Now he feels the urge to do something for himself, something that defines him. This is called the self-actuating need, which is at the topmost level of the pyramid. So this ensures that he is realizing what he is capable of, and he also wants to leave a mark as a person. So the hunger for next level of need always begins when the lower level need is sufficiently satisfied. This is as per Maslow's theory. Managers have to understand the level of manpower they are dealing with and then work out wages and other factors to motivate them. So this is hierarchy of needs by Abraham Maslow. Moving on, the next is the two-factor theory proposed by Friedrich Herzberg. Herzberg speaks about 2 different set of factors. One he calls the hygiene factors, the other one is the motivational factors. Hygiene factors include things like working conditions, salary, insurance, relationship with superiors, subordinate, and so on. The other factors, which he calls the motivational factor, it includes recognition, praise, reward, responsibility, and so on. He says absence of hygiene factors like lack of good working condition, lack of safety, in the factory space. So all these things can demotivate employees. If salary is not given on time, it can demotivate employees. But it is the motivational factors which can drive him for better performance. So the hygiene factors have to be anyway ensured, like safe work environment, salary on time. All these factors are 100% to be ensured. If they are not there, it will demotivate employees. If they are there, employee will be satisfied. But the motivational factors like recognition, reward, praise, etc. will always drive him for better performance. Managers have to understand that hygiene seekers, like people who are at the hygiene level, will be satisfied with hygiene conditions or when these conditions are met. Ambitious individuals are always motivated more by the job content. Okay. Moving on, the next theory is called the ERG theory. This resembles Maslow's theory of needs. E stands for existence needs. That is, they relate to Maslow's bottom 2 levels of pyramid, that is physiological and safety needs. R stands for relatedness, which is the level 3 and 2 of Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid, that is social and esteem needs, and G stands for growth, relates to realizing one's potential or self-actuating needs. Now, having discussed this, we now move on to process theories. This has been proposed by various management gurus like Vroom, and Porter, Lawler, etc. We will, however, understand only Vroom's theory, which is called the valence expectancy theory. Valence expectancy theory is a theory of motivation that states that the level of effort individuals exert in any task can be computed from three variables. Okay, so the three variables include expectancy. So this is called process theory because it is the process, psychological process, that is what it focuses on. Okay, so Vroom's theory states that there are three variables that decide what kind of effort individuals will give in the task given. One is expectancy. Expectancy means the belief that something they do will result in successful outcome. For example, studying well will lead to good result. So expectancy is when you take an action, that is studying, it will lead to successful outcome. What is the outcome? Good results. Okay. Then the second variable he talks about is instrumentality. Okay, what is instrumentality? It is the belief that good outcome, good result will bring good rewards. That is, good results in exams will fetch jobs with higher pay. So that is instrumentality. And finally, we have something called the valence. Valence is the desirability of rewards on the offer. So he feels for the effort that I have put in, I mean, if he feels if I put in low effort, maybe I get a job of this standard. Maybe if I put in higher effort, he expects better outcome, better reward or better final outcome. So it is all in his psychology. Valence is whether he really deserves and what he really deserves based on his own judgment. Now, as human beings, the general tendency is minimum efforts, maximum rewards. Of course, it's not universal, but most of the people think this way. It is important for the manager to understand these factors and how compensation can be designed to address this factor, that is variables or the valence factor. Okay. Now, having discussed the process theory, we'll now move on to some of the contemporary theories that are the most recent theories. The first one is the equity theory. This was proposed by Stacey Adams. So he feels every individual compares his own job inputs, that is, inputs is what he gives to the job, and outcomes, what he gets out of it, with their own expectation. So they have their own expectation from themselves, and they also do a comparison with others, and this is very human. You do a comparison of your marks with others. Similarly, human beings always, even at work, will do a comparison. I put in so much effort and I got XYZ results, and that guy puts the same amount of efforts, he gets better results. So the person is demotivated. So what he does, based on this comparison, he tries to eliminate this inequality. So if he feels whatever effort he puts in, he's still not being paid well or something, he will try to reduce the effort function in the long run. Okay, so equity is measured by comparing the ratio of output to input, what output he gets against the input that he puts in, and comparing this with what others are getting. Okay, as long as this ratio is proportion is equal with others, he is happy. Or if it is if he thinks he is not being paid well or the outcome is not as good as others, he will feel demotivated. If he gets too much also, sometimes he'll feel somewhere there is that guilt that he's probably getting paid more than what he deserves. Inputs and output, when you talk about that, inputs would typically include effort, loyalty, hard work, commitment, flexibility, personal sacrifice that he does for the job, and so on. Output, it include financial rewards like bonus, increment, and intangible rewards like recognition, reputation, status, and so on. While obviously many of these points we cannot really quantify because many of them are psychological, many of them are intangible, and we cannot do a perfect comparison also. This theory still argues that managers should seek to find a fair balance between inputs that employees give and the output they receive. So, more or less, they should ensure all of them, people with the same level of input, deserve or get the same level of output. Once employees find this balance, they are motivated. So these are some of the behavioral theories of motivation. So we'll carry on with the next topic in the next lecture. Okay, the next topic would be the components of compensation, components of pay. Thank you so much.